let's get into this box. This is the BulletPoint Mounting Solutions. Now you see these ads on Facebook all the time for your Jeep, your truck, whatever. I thought, I'm going to go ahead and give them a shot. And it's not too bad. I think it was like $40 for this, and it was on sale. So that's not too bad for this mounting plate. This is for a 2014 or 12th gen F-150. For right now, let's get it unboxed and take a look and see what's what in here. So this is the ads you see on Facebook and social media that, pop up in my feeds all the time. So I figured, why not give them a shot? What do I got to lose? $40. Comes with a little decal. You got this. Thank you for choosing BulletPoint Mounting Solutions. I did just get the base. I didn't get the arms. I'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, there's two options for mounting this case. Option 1 is medium duty install, no drilling required. And option 2 is heavy duty install, requires tray removal and drilling. I'll be doing the heavy duty installation. We'll be going through those steps in a moment. Comes with a nice little bag of goodies here. Let's open this up and see. Let's get the box out of the way. We got finally the Ruby Grid case. Now we got some double-sided tape. We've got some screw holes on the bottom of it. We've got a platform to bolt all of our little attachments to. So it's pretty nice. Nice little box with foam insert. Okay, not too bad. I opted for this design because I wasn't going to use the system they have for their mounting arms. Now they've got some Kevlar carbon fiber composite arms. The problem is they're 20 millimeter balls. If you're familiar with Ram mount at all, Ram has 3 different sizes. I think the first one's like a half or 9/16 called the A ball. Then there's the B ball, which is 1 inch, which is most common and what I primarily use. And they have like a C ball, which is 1.5 inches for much heavier duty applications. So this thing is designed to fit inside the tray of my F-150 truck on the top there. And we'll get, like I said, we'll get to mounting it here in a moment. But let's see what else this thing comes with here in the kit. Put that right there. Got our little decal, which I probably will put on. A Ziploc bag of goodies. So let's see what we got in here. We got a little screwdriver to help us install this kit. Looks like we've got a panel removal tool, kind of handy. We've got a wrench, a little basic 7 millimeter. Yep, 8 and 7 millimeter wrench. Little cheapo wrench there. We even got the drill bits. These guys even give you the drill bits to install this. Now that's a slick move, guys. I appreciate that. A smaller drill bit to start with, I assume, and then a larger drill bit to finish our proper hole size off. So I mean, you guys, that's pretty cool that a company would think out as far as give you all the tools you need to install this thing in either way. I mean, they didn't have to do that, I don't think, and they did. So I like that. We've got the 2 drill bits. We got a bag full of screws. We got some long screws, short screws, and 2 bolts and nuts. So I imagine the bolt and nuts is what we're going to need to drill and bolt this thing in place. So that's going to be something cool to check out with. We got some goodies here. Looks like. What do we got here? We got a bullet. Let's get this out of this bag. What is this thing? Is this a whistle? No. Is it a bottle opener? It is a bottle opener. I need a bottle to open now. Just a thing. Hold tight. Got a little old-fashioned root beer from St. Arnold's Brewery. I think that's out of Houston. I don't see anything on it. I'm pretty sure they're out of Houston. Anyways, I can't find this stuff locally. I got to go drive 100 miles to get it. But let's try our bottle opener out. Hey, cheers. It works. All right, so. Oh, yeah, not sponsored. And we got what looks like a little keychain in here. We got something more than that. What do we got here? What is this thing? A QR code. What is this? Scan me. The F-It tool was designed to keep your mounts extra snug, made of ridiculously effing strong metal. Our F-It tool provides a little extra leverage to ensure your device holds straight holders stay right where you want them. Place the F-It tool over the thumb nut screw and give it a gentle turn. Careful not to over tighten. So I've already gone out and removed my dash tray from my truck here. So you can see this is how it bolts into the truck here. These two little bolts, clips in underneath the dash on this portion right here. And this is how this rack mounts. So I put these screws in here just as little guides, not for anything permanent right now, but that's kind of where this thing can be positioned at, as you can see here. How this thing will position, this is toward the driver on this side. Now you can install this in reverse, and I thought about doing this because I'd like access to this compartment still. But the problem with that is I still got to put all these charging cords and all that kind of stuff up here and make it somewhat universal to use, so I don't have to keep tearing this thing apart. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just commit this area to the charging cords and be able to tuck them underneath here, kind of keep it kind of clean and tidy. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I've got, like I said, I've got my two screws in there kind of just as a temporary spot fix there for those. We've got to mark and drill our holes through here to drill and bolt this thing down. Now this thing came with supplied bolts, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the size and the washer space by going to a slightly larger bolt. They came with something about this size, a little smaller, and I'm going to increase it to about this size. I may just run a whole metal plate across the bottom here to really strengthen that bracket up. The reason why I want this bracket so strong and sturdy is I'm going to have a lot more up here than just the phones. I plan on having at least 2 phone holders, but I want a heavier GPS mount, as well as I want to be able to mount one of my heavier cameras on a RAM mount if I should desire to, because I need this thing to be able to hold it sturdy. That being said, that's the plan for that. We're going to go ahead and set up some RAM balls and get them bolted in. So the first one is going to be a nice 4-post RAM ball, and it's going to go straight and center up in the back here. So I want this thing right about there. It has a spot to grab. We're going to put 4 bolts in it. So what I've done is I've got just went down to the hardware store and bought some black bolts. Be careful, there's chrome black. You're going to pay $8 for a bolt like this. It's not what you want. These are about 69 cents each. Much more affordable. And I went with some nice cap screws, so that way the fit and finish look pretty decent. Always start all your bolts first, because you don't want to be tightening up one, have it not line up. And we got the flat washer, lock washer, and the nut. Alright, so there's what it's going to look like underneath. RAM ball on top. Got the logo in the right spot. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is we're going to install what would be my main primary phone mount. RAM mounts been around for a long time. I've been using them for years now, and been really happy with RAM products. They work well, they last a long time, they don't really fall apart. You can buy plastic RAM or you can buy metal RAM, depending on your applications where that's going to matter at. If you're at something that you want to be able to break away on an impact, you want to buy something that's more of a plastic or a poly, where they make metal RAMs that are very strong. And you gotta think about that when you're building something with metal RAM. You got to think about, okay, do you want this to fail in an impact or a crash to keep whatever electronics on it maybe safe? So something definitely to consider in picking out a RAM product. All right, so I've got my 5 RAM balls mounted on here. Now you may be asking yourself, why do I need 5 RAM balls on this plate? Well, I really don't right at the moment, but I figure if I'm going to have it apart, I may as well build it. So, and I've got all the ball mounts. I acquire these. So anyways, these 2 on the outside will be for the phones. This one will be meant for a, like a big GPS. And the last 2 are just auxiliary. So my first thought on the last 2 would be I would mount my camera here. Now, the RAM ball and the quarter 20 mount's not the best way to do this, but it works. But anyway, see, I can clamp this thing down and it'll hold my camera just fine for the truck to, you know, say film me while I'm driving. So that's the idea behind that, is that you can mount some camera rigs up here on this plate and have one, you know, essentially I could have one forward, I could have two on the sides on each passenger. So that's the reason why I feel like I need 5 ram balls on this plate, is that way so I have a spot for the camera here. That's the plan. So anyways, that's what I've got going on and why it's 5 ram balls. We'll run the keyed one for now because I've got it. So that'll be for the one phone. This will be for an auxiliary phone. And off to the truck. We'll get it mounted up in the truck and get it all finalized. So this BulletPoint mount I've installed in the dash, I really like it, guys. It's doing really well. So it's been 2 weeks now in the truck and no issues with the mount whatsoever. My first thoughts about the mount, unboxing it, that it was built a little thin and it didn't have enough rigidity and strength to it. The mounting bracket arms or legs were actually kind of tweaked out of the box. I had to kind of straighten them out a little bit, so that kind of gave me a red flag, like, maybe this is a little bit cheaper metal or not too good, but I'll cancel that out at this point because it's actually, once it's mounted and bolted in, I've had zero flex or issues with it. Any movement you see from this camera equipment and the phone here is from the RAM system, not the BulletPoint plate. The plate is solid, and I've got extra RAM balls on it, which of course all that helps strengthen it up also because we've got washers under them and they're holding strong. But I did mount these all this hardware, you know, with new black hardware. So I got black bolts and washers and nuts under there that all, you know, hold the RAM balls down. I did opt to drill it into the plate and mount it, and I used bigger bolts than what they provided. So I also use larger washers underneath it. I eventually want to get just a plate of steel and put under there and drill it for those 2 bolts so they're attached all the way across on that plate and really help rigid up this side of the mount. But honestly, I don't think it needs it. It's been working really, really well for that. So that portion of it may not be necessary. The RAM mounts I have on this thing going on, so this is my setup in the truck, is I've got my phone on a rock form mount with a wireless charger. That's what this cord is. Eventually I'm going to put a power drop in the back of it that'll be cut out of the plastic and have a 12 volt socket and some high power USB ports, USB-C ports. I think it's 4 USB-Cs or 4 USBs, 2 A's and 2 USB type C ports that'll hold in the back there. And then in the center here is for a GPS, so eventually I'm going to have a larger GPS here in the center. And then the right side, which my camera's currently mounted to, will be for a universal RAM phone holder someday when I buy one, for the passenger to be able to put their phone up if they wish. That's what that's going to be there for. So it also works great for me to hold the camera and puts it at a decent angle for my face doing these type of videos. And then behind the 2 phone RAM balls, I've got 2 more mounts, and those are for actual cameras like the ZV-1. And the idea behind that is I can push them out and put them forward on myself or a passenger and a passenger, and be able to have a discussion and have us recorded for YouTube and those purposes. So that's why I've got 5 RAM balls up there, is for my crazy ideas that may never happen, but if they do, well, then I'm covered up and ready to go for it. I mean, I chose RAM because, one, I've used RAM for a lot of years, many, many years. I've always had RAM products. I've collected a great deal of them over the time, and so I've got them to use. So why spend extra money when I have all these sitting in a shelf or in a drawer? I figured I'd bolt them down on this plate, and so far, so good. I mean, the RAM system works well. The little bit of wiggle I get in the mounts is acceptable to me. The camera seems to be doing an okay job with stabilization, and then the phone holding the GPS, I'd say 95% of the time the wiggle's not an issue for reading it or looking at it. It's got a little bit of vibration. Now, I could put a shorter arm on it and get it up tucked on the dash, but in past experiences it's gotten hot, so I keep the AC vent right here blowing underneath it, keeping this phone cool while it's charging. And so far, I haven't had any overheat issues, but we're also not 110 degrees yet. We've been sitting around, well, today we're at 66 degrees. So it's warm coming through the windshield, but not like it will be in a couple months. If you want a dash mount that works well, BulletPoint has you covered up on the cars they make them for. Hopefully you got a car that they fit. But if you're looking at this video, chances are they have something you're interested in. I'd say give them a shot. They're worth it. I do like this mount. It's small, it's compact, it's a smaller and lighter one than some of the other ones they have. It fits well in this space. What else do you do with it? I mean, I end up putting pens or paper up there and it gets knocked around while you're driving, and this is just a lot cleaner way, and it brings the ram balls up too, because if you just put the ram ball in the plastic and mounted it down, it'd be kind of funky getting over the edge. It'd be sticking up. This brings it up to a level plane where I can bring it down and out level to where I want. I got quite a bit of adjustability on the phone here, to move it around. So it works, and I love the Rockform mount. Check out that video if you haven't seen that already. The Rockform mount works really, really well. So with that, guys, I appreciate you watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, hit that like button. It is highly appreciated. And I'll see you in the next video. We'll talk to you later. See ya.